Hey y'all, I'm Penny, 34, female. Buckle up, because I'm about to tell you all a story that's going to have you all clutching your pearls. This one involves some serious family drama that went down recently with my no-good brother-in-law, Archie, 36, male, and his wife, Kiara, 31, female. To give you all some context, I've been married to my smoking hot husband, Kane, 37, male, for the past 9 years now. We're both from a small town in Texas, so we were high school sweethearts and all that mushy-gushy stuff. Kane's the light of my life, no two ways about it. Dude had me hooked from the moment I laid eyes on that dreamy smile of his back in 10th grade. Kane's brother, Archie, though? Yeah, he's been a whole other story from day one. See, something just never sat right with old Archie when it came to me being his baby bro's wife. From the moment Kane introduced us way back when I could sense this weird hostility radiating off the guy, Archie always had this perpetual scowl on his face around me, as if I had just run over his dog or something. Whenever we were all together for family events, he'd crack these rude, underhanded comments throwing shade at me. Stuff like questioning my career ambitions and joking about how I trapped Kane into an early marriage. Just toxic, misogynistic BS that made me feel so unwelcome. And y'all already know I fired back each and every time, putting Archie squarely in his place. I wasn't about to let some bitter loser make me feel small. But no matter how many times I stuck up for myself, the guy would not let up with his petty grudge against me. It was so confusing too, because I never even met Archie until after Kane and I started dating. My poor hubby had no idea what was fueling his older brother's rude behavior towards me. Kane tried to pull Archie aside and straighten things out, mano a mano, on more than one occasion, but that fool just doubled down with his immature antics instead of owning up to whatever stick he had up his behind. Things eventually got so tense between us all that we started cutting off contact almost entirely. I'm talking like years going by without either family exchanging so much as hellos during the holidays. Of course, it wasn't all at once. Our contact was dwindling slowly until eventually we'd see each other's cars parked at Walmart or something, but we wouldn't even approach the other person and greet them. It was so awkward and rough. It broke Kane's heart because he had always been so close with his older bro growing up, looking up to Archie like a hero of sorts despite his bullying ways. But what could we do, you know? I sure as heck wasn't about to force my husband to stay connected with such a toxic, disrespectful person, even if he was Kane's flesh and blood. Archie had crossed too many lines throughout the past years, and unless he shaped up, I couldn't have that negativity around me or our growing family. But that was easier said than done. The years went by, and right when I was hitting my 34th birthday, I got pregnant. Of course, Kane and I were over the moon, but not to lie, it was very bitter for us knowing that this child might not be close to their uncle and auntie, because at this time, Archie started dating some broad named Kiara. Kane especially started spiraling, just not being able to handle the possibility that his kids won't be close to his brother's future kids, which was a really sad thought. And that's actually what finally prompted me to swallow my pride and reach out to bury the hatchet after all those years of bad blood. See, Kane and I had been trying to have a baby for some time by that point, and the thought of depriving our future child of having a relationship with their uncle started weighing heavily on my heart. As much as I couldn't stand Archie's piss-poor attitude, I knew how important family was to Kane deep down. I could tell it was tearing him up inside not having his big brother around to share all those big life moments with. So for the sake of my hubby's happiness and our impending parenthood, I finally decided to extend an olive branch of sorts to Archie. I'll never forget that phone call, you all. I mustered up all the courage I had and just flat out told Archie straight up. Listen up, redneck. You and I both know you got a rod shoved so far up your behind that it's practically sticking out the other end. For some unknowable reason, you've had it out for me from day one, and to be quite frank, I'm sick of your immature BS. This ain't about me and you no more, though. This is about my wonderful husband and the fact that he deserves to have his family in his life. Toxic relatives and all. Man, the dude tried to interrupt me there, probably to fire back with one of his usual snide remarks. But I wasn't having any of that. Oh, no, sirree. Save it, Archie. I'm putting my foot down here. By the grace of God, Kane and I are fixing to have a baby soon, and I'll be damned if my child grows up not knowing their uncle all because you can't seem to quit acting like a petulant schoolboy. It's time we all grew up and made peace for their sake. Comprehend? There was a painful long pause after I got all that off my chest. Part of me was bracing for Archie to just hang up the phone or start cussing me out like usual, but to my surprise, the dude actually agreed to my request without even putting up a fight. He solemnly said he'd do whatever it took to be part of his new niece or nephew's life, even swallowing his pride to make nice with me. Not gonna lie, I was floored by how quickly he caved. Given our history of beef, almost seemed too good to be true, you know. Still, I figured the prospect of being a real-life uncle must have struck a chord in Archie's heart to get his act together. So from there, we all set a date to gather for a family dinner party at Archie's home with his wife, Kiera. I wanted the setting to be on their turf as a sign of goodwill. We would go in with a clean slate, all grudges and pettiness, getting left at the door in exchange for ushering in a new era of family unity. Or at least, that's what I thought would happen. Boy, was I ever naive, because the moment Kane and I stepped through the threshold at Archie's place, I could already sense something was dreadfully amiss. That same familiar look of disgusted contempt from years prior was plastered all over my brother-in-law's scowling mug once again as he glared a hole straight through me. Before I could even get out a simple "Evening, Archie," the man went mask off with his true feelings towards me. His opening line said it all. Ugh, almost forgot just how annoying your face is. But you never disappoint now, do you? Whoa, hey, we just got here, Archie. What the heck? What the hell is wrong with you, Archie? Oh, come on, I'm just pulling your leg, Pen. Nice to see you. Ha ha, very funny, Arch. But seriously, cut it out, okay? We're making nice, remember? Oh, don't worry, sweetie. Looks like your brother must have some early onset dementia or something. He must have forgotten the lovely phone call we had, hashing all this out. Oh, nice one, Penny. You've always had a slick mouth. Now I see why Kane was so invested, if you know what I mean. Seriously? Oh, honey, don't be crass. Hey, come on now, I'm just stating the obvious. It's actually surprising you two took so long to get pregnant. Okay, that's enough, brother. At least now you'll be useful for something. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I'm saying you're a leech, Penny. What the hell are you talking about? Have you finally gone mad? I can't believe my idiot brother lets you parade around like some kind of kept woman while the rest of us actually work for a living. The audacity of you waltzing up in here with your head held high, smiling like a Cheshire cat, is pathetic. I just stood there, utterly gobsmacked, mouth agape, while Kane's face turned beefy red with anger beside me. You could have heard a pin drop in that house. It was so damn quiet, even poor Kiera cowered in fear, knowing full well the drama that was about to go down. Who the hell do you think you're talking to, Archie? After all these years, and you're still running that mouth about me like some unhinged psycho. Archie was fully unhinged, all right. The dude had the nerve to beckon me over with his grubby finger like I was a misbehaving child. Don't play dumb with me, little lady. I know darn well you up and quit your fancy law job last year, leaving you unemployed without a penny to your name, no doubt. Just leeching off of my brother like a bumbling fool. I knew you were good for nothing. I saw red. I don't know if it was the pregnancy hormones or what, but this fool had another thing coming up talking to me that way. But just when I thought the verbal assault was over, he spat again. So why don't you stop living in a dream world for once and head to the kitchen to start cooking us all up a little something, All of us are working here, including Kiera, and just as fate would have it, she's working at the same law firm you gave up on last year. How pathetic. A younger woman outshining you like this, and all you have to prove for yourself is a fat, swollen belly. You even look like a leech. My brother-in-law then let out this obnoxious guffaw like the sexist little prickfoot he had just hit me with the sickest burn imaginable. And just when I thought I couldn't despise this boorish creep any more than I already did, here he was, literally tearing me down to my face using his own twisted idea of women's work to demean me in my own husband's presence, and insulting his poor wife in the process. If Cain hadn't exploded with laughter right at that very moment, I probably would have slapped Archie myself for his outrageously sexist and demeaning remarks. See, unbeknownst to Archie and even Kiera, I hadn't exactly been sitting around twiddling my thumbs in domestic bliss after leaving my job. Far from it, actually. The real reason I quit was because over the years I had managed to leverage a nice chunk of ownership equity at the law firm through an employee stock ownership plan. That meant when I decided to retire early at 32, I was able to cash out my shares for a whole lot of money. We're talking retirement-level wealth here, folks. But Cain and I decided to keep that explosive financial success under wraps for the most part. We wanted to enjoy our good fortune in peace without attracting a bunch of leeches and grifters trying to mooch off of us, especially opportunistic trash like Archie, who already had it out for me. So as far as my knuckle-dragging brother-in-law was concerned, I had just up and quit my job to be a no-good freeloader living off my husband. Pfft. If only he knew how massively he had the situation twisted. That's why Cain couldn't help but throw his head back with deep belly laughs at Archie's insulting insinuations about me being a deadbeat housewife. My hubby knew the truth, that I was living a life of leisure purely by choice, preparing for full-time motherhood with my baby, as life had so graciously blessed me with. The absolute irony of Archie running his mouth without any clue was just too rich. Oh, man, you really outdone yourself this time, bro, Hayne chuckled, wheezing for air. Kitchen duty, leech? This coming from the guy who works at a freaking fast food joint calling hard-working people like us leeches. Archie's bravado faltered slightly as confusion washed over his dumb face. What the hell are you talking about, Cain? You know good and damn well I'm a manager at Carlos, a restaurant. Your wife doesn't work anymore, and that makes her a leech, plain and simple. My husband leveled his brother with an intense stare, his amusement giving way to cold seriousness. Is that so? Well then, help me understand something, Archie. Just which of our wives pulls in the bigger salary these days, huh? 'Cause if I'm not mistaken, my seemingly unemployed leech of a wife actually out-earns your hot-shot corporate wife by a long shot." The look of utter confusion, giving way to embarrassed realization on Archie's dumb face, was immensely satisfying. Kiera, too, seemed taken aback, her eyes pinging back and forth between me and her husband. Savoring the moment, Kane went for the jugular. "That's right, you all. Turns out your precious Kiera has been working under my wife as an employee at the law firm this whole time. Crazy how life works, ain't it?" I shot Kiera an apologetic look as her own husband continued digging himself into a deeper hole. But, she said she quit working last year. How the hell could she still be some kind of big shot there if she ain't employed?" Kane draped his arm around my shoulder with a proud smile. "My baby girl here has been one of the principal investors at that law firm for a couple of years now. She didn't just quit, she retired early after cashing out 18% ownership equity, something you nor Kiera could ever do." The smug look on my husband's face said it all. After years of Archie mistreating me, making me feel small and ruining what was meant to be a beautiful family relationship, Kane was finally able to get the ultimate comeuppance on his bullying big brother. And boy, did he milk it for all it was worth, as Archie cycled through all 5 stages of grief in record time. I could practically see the hamster running miles a minute inside that thick skull of his, struggling to comprehend how his own wife's boss lady at work was the same unemployed leech he had been mocking all this time. His bloated ego couldn't compute that his despised stay-at-home sister-in-law out-earned and outranked his precious career woman wife in every conceivable way. For my part, I just stood there reveling in the glorious silence, a smug smile of my own plastered across my face. And for the first time ever, Archie seemed to have that foul mouth of his zipped fully shut out of sheer humiliation. The quiet tension was finally broken by Kiera, God bless her. She cleared her throat softly before speaking up in a meek little voice, still struggling to process the bombshell Kane had dropped. "So, you're actually like my boss?" "Well, not really. I'm just an investor." "Oh, don't be humble now, sweetie." "Kiera, to put it simply, my wife is funding your position because even your boss answers to her. So please tell your idiot of a husband to watch how he speaks before he makes the big boss really mad." Kiera's eyes went wide as saucers, now realizing how mistaken she and her husband had been about me. But Archie still refused to go down without a fight. His male ego just couldn't take the brutal beating it had endured. Archie puffed out his chest, trying to regain some of his lost pride. "Yeah, well, even if she has money, it doesn't change the fact that she ain't working no more. She's still sitting around doing nothing." Kane's patience was wearing thin, and I could feel his grip on my shoulder tighten. But before he could say anything, I decided it was my turn to speak up. "Archie, you have no idea what you're talking about. Just because I chose to retire early doesn't mean I'm not contributing. I've been managing investments, volunteering, and, oh yeah, making sure our family's taken care of. So before you start throwing around words like leech, maybe you should take a good look in the mirror. I'm not the one working as some bum waiter in some dingy restaurant while his wife works at a very reputable law firm. How sad that your wife is the one wearing the pants in this relationship." Archie's face turned a shade of red I hadn't seen before. He opened his mouth to retort, but Kiera interrupted him, clearly embarrassed by her husband's behavior. "Archie, enough. You've been nothing but rude and disrespectful, and it's not fair to Penny. We should be supporting each other, not tearing each other down." "Screw that. You think I care about any of that? She's still a useless wench who ruined this family. I've literally done nothing to you. You're the one who started all of this. You listen here, you little... Archie, you need to get a grip. You've been rude and downright evil to Penny for years, and we're done with it. You better watch yourself if you ever want to be a part of our lives again. Archie's face turned beet red, and he shot back. You can't talk to me like that, Kane. I'm your brother. Brother or not, respect goes both ways, and you've had none for Penny. So why should we have any for you? The room's temperature seemed to rise as the tension thickened. Kiera and I exchanged worried glances, both of us sensing the brewing storm. Archie's voice quivered with anger. You think you're so much better, huh? Just because your wife's rich now? It's not about money, Archie. It's about decency, and you've shown none. You ungrateful little... Do you know who you're talking to right now? You better watch yourself, pal. Archie's face turned beet red and his fists clenching at his side. Watch me? Who the hell do you think you are, Kane, lecturing me in my own house? Penny's just a what, Archie? A worthless woman? A leech? You've been singing the same song and dance since day one, and you've been loudly wrong about her from the start. It's embarrassing. Get a grip. She's got more class and success in her little finger than you've ever had in your entire life, and you owe her a massive apology. The tension in the room skyrocketed with both men standing chest to chest, eyes locked in a furious glare. Before things could escalate further, Kiera stepped in, her voice shaking as she tried to mediate. Guys, please, let's just calm down. This is supposed to be a family gathering. Archie, unable to contain his anger, blurted out something that shook us to the core. You don't get it, you little turd. You think you can just waltz in here and get everything you ever wanted, Not only did you get the girl, now you're bloody loaded too. When will it be my turn, huh? The room fell silent, everyone stunned by Archie's confession. Get the girl? What on earth was he talking about? I felt my stomach drop, a mix of shock and disbelief washing over me. Kiera's face twisted in pain and betrayal as she processed her husband's words. What did you just say? Yeah, what the hell did you just say? Archie's bravado crumbled, replaced by a look of raw regret. His shoulders slumped as he was pacing around the room. Nothing. I didn't say anything. No. You definitely said something, big bro, and I reckon you get to repeating yourself before we run into some real trouble. He looked defeated, sad even. It was pitiful. It was at this moment I realized that Archie, the big bad wolf in everyone's story, apparently was in love with me. And he had been the whole time. His insults and jabs were nothing more than his way of projecting, because he couldn't handle the fact that I was with his brother instead of him. Growing up, you got everything you ever wanted. Well, I just had to sit back and take the leftovers because I was older. I was responsible for you. I know I said that I didn't know Penny when you first introduced me to her, but that wasn't true. Jesus Christ. I'd seen her around school, thought she was cute. I was going to make my move, but I saw you two by the nosebleeds after football practice one time, and that's when I knew that she'd never be mine. And that's when I knew I had to give up once again and let you get what you wanted. I looked at Kane for his reaction, and honestly, it scared me. I'd never seen him that angry before. I was really worried about what was about to happen. He was seething when he said, "Say it to me straight, Archie. Say it with your chest like a man. I've always loved Penny. It should have been me, not you." Kiera's eyes welled up with tears before she slapped Archie across the face, the sound echoing in the now eerily quiet room. "How could you? All this time and you never even told me." Tears welled up in her eyes as she turned. and fled outside, sobbing uncontrollably. Kane's fury reached a boiling point, and he lunged at Archie, landing a solid punch that sent him sprawling to the floor. "You're disgusting, Archie. You've crossed every line, and we're done with you." He spat on him, grabbing my hand and pulling me towards the door. "Come on, Penny, we're leaving." Kane and I got in the car, and as we drove away, the weight of the evening started to lift. I looked at Kane, feeling a surge of gratitude and love for my husband who had always stood by me. "Babe, I don't even know what to say." "You deserve better than what Archie's put you through. We both do. From now on, it's just us. No more dealing with this crap. He's an idiot and I hate him." Over the next few days, Archie tried to reach out, bombarding us with texts and calls. He begged for forgiveness, claiming Kiera was ready to leave him, and he needed our help to fix things. He promised that he wouldn't be snarky, telling us he was defeated and he didn't know what else to do. But we had made our decision. For our own sanity and peace, we chose to cut him out of our lives for good. We blocked his number, deleted his messages, and moved on. Some people are just too toxic to keep in your life, no matter how much history you have with them. And as painful as it was, cutting ties with Archie was the best decision we ever made. Life moved on, and despite the fallout, we felt a newfound sense of freedom and relief. We no longer had to deal with Archie's negativity, and our bond grew even stronger as we navigated our future together. No more secrets, no more lies, just a life filled with the love and respect we both deserved. For the first time in forever, we felt free, finally free from his negativity, free from his evil words, and free to live our lives without his shadow hanging over us. Kane and I had each other, and that was more than enough, and Archie only had himself to blame for ruining everything. Of course, though, nothing that peaceful is ever long-lived, and not long after we cut him out, about 3 months to be exact, Archie came crawling back. I was prepping to give birth, and this man just insisted on stressing us out. He couldn't seem to accept that we wanted nothing to do with him. It started with sporadic texts and calls to Kane and me, each one more desperate than the last. He had managed to get a new number, I guess, but we blocked that too. One message read, "Penny, please, just hear me out. I need to explain myself." I blocked his number immediately, showing the text to Kane, who shook his head in disbelief. "He's not going to give up easily, is he?" Apparently not. It wasn't long before Archie found another way to reach out, on Facebook. He started sending me messages there, pleading for a chance to talk. His messages were a mix of apologies and justifications, each one more pathetic than the last. "I know I messed up, Penny, but you have to understand I never meant to hurt you or Kane. I'm a broken man, and as messed up as it sounds, I'm glad I came clean. Kiera's going to leave me. She's made up her mind. Please, can we just meet in private? I need to talk to you face to face. Please." I blocked him again, but he was relentless. He created new accounts every time I blocked one, each new message coming from a different profile. His persistence was disturbing. I showed all the messages to Kane, who was growing more concerned by the day. "This is getting out of hand. He's not just desperate, he's becoming obsessive." I nodded, feeling a knot of anxiety tighten in my stomach. "I know. I don't feel safe with him trying to contact me like this. What if he shows up at our house or something?" "We need to take this seriously. If he keeps this up, we might have to involve the law." It wasn't a decision we took lightly. Despite everything, Archie was still family, and getting legal involvement felt like a drastic step. But as the messages continued, becoming more erratic and insistent, we realized we didn't have much of a choice, especially since I was very near my due date. I didn't want this toxic energy anywhere near my baby. So not long afterward, we contacted a lawyer from my firm to discuss our options. We explained the situation in detail, showing them the dozens of messages Archie had sent me over the past few months. Filing for the restraining order was a straightforward but emotionally draining process. We had to recount the entire saga in detail, reliving the stress and anxiety Archie had caused us. But knowing that we were taking concrete steps to protect ourselves brought a sense of empowerment and relief. Now we're just waiting to get the details in order so that we can serve him with the papers. Wish us luck, you all.